Welcome to another episode of Planets in 2024 Transits. Today I have Hannah with me, and we're going to talk about Neptune. But before we start, I just want to. Something happened with Instagram. Yes, something happened. Now I can go live on Instagram. So it's off. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Hannah, good morning, good afternoon. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Jasmine. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm looking forward to talking all about the dream.
Yes, awesome. So for everybody who don't know Hannah, which is impossible, you can find her and Hannah elsewhere, everywhere, YouTube and Instagram, and just check her awesome content out. That's amazing. I know that you have some nice Neptune placement. Can you tell us, something about that? That's why I chose you for Neptune. I mean, that was one of the things. Tell us.
Yeah, I have Neptune conjunct my Venus. So they're actually the same degree, 17 degrees
Mm.
in Capricorn. And yeah, is quite shown in my life, I am constantly
Mm.
dreaming, imagining, visualizing, creating. I remember actually whenever I was a kid, but when I was a baby, I used to rock my head like this from side to side, and my parents used to think, "What's wrong with her? Why is she doing that?" But they took me to the doctor and stuff and said it's completely normal. I continued doing that into my adult life, and every night before I would go to bed, I would put my music in, and I would just go like this, and I would just imagine.
Mm.
I would dream, I would visualize all of these different things in my head, and it's presented through my art, my work, and it's it's a fun placement.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know you have like all your creativity shows in your videos and your astrology, so that's absolutely amazing. I have Sun opposing Neptune, so it's also strong with me as well, uh, which is interesting. So before we start talking about 2024, let's chat about what is Neptune all about. So you mentioned art, but what else does Neptune represent?
Yeah, so I just want to say with Neptune, the interesting thing about Neptune is it was discovered in 1846, and it was actually discovered. And the other thing I want to say
Mm.
with this is, um, so just to kind of preface it, I just want to say that Neptune, of course, is preparing to move in. This is going to be the start of like a new
Mm.
Neptune cycle, which happens every 165 years. But yeah, Neptune. There's so many things I could say about Neptune. Of course, there can be whatever celestial body we're talking about.
Yes.
But what I kind of come back to is the actual symbol of Pisces, because of course Neptune,
Mm.
it went to Pisces in terms of the model of Pisces, the glyph, because it's these two fish, and they're like swimming in different directions, but they're tied together by a cord.
Mm.
And that to me symbolizes just how much Neptune all of us, so we can kind of swim to the light or we can swim to the dark, but it's also recognizing that
Mm.
they're two sides of the same coin, and that is very yin yang energy, and that shows the off Neptune, and that Neptune dissolves, but it also represents integration and how we do become somewhat more whole. And then the other thing, of course, is Neptune dreams. It can look to the collective unconscious. What I've noticed with Neptune transits, of course, because we're talking about the transits today, is what is left behind from a Neptune transit
Mm.
at the time. What suffering going on, what pain's going on. Neptune can be a planet of deep suffering and loss, and things do dissolve, and that can be hard for people. But then the other thing with this, of course, is Neptune can also look at forgiveness. It can look at compassion toward
Absolutely.
fellow man, but also compassion towards the self. And it's unconditional love as well. Venus is of course exalted in the sign of Pisces, and as I say, with Neptune ruling Pisces, there's a big reason for that. And I feel as if a big reason for that is to show us, that unconditional love. I imagine, for example, the unconditional love that parents have toward their children. I mean, but yeah, that to me is very Neptune.
Yes.
But I just want to finish.
Yeah.
I want to finish by saying with maybe some more negatives to balance it out a little bit. Is Neptune can also look at disillusionment, undiagnosed mental illnesses as well. When things are not diagnosed correctly, hallucinations, concussions. If you lose your like about Neptune is that it really questions like our grasp on reality. It questions our grasp on reality, and we kind of think like, is this a dream? Am I dreaming? Am I awake? The other way around. It's these types of questions that arise from it. And then as well, Neptune of course can look at nirvana, ecstasy. When you kind of you're listening to intertwined with it. I'm so merging with it, and I feel like I'm lifting off. That can be Neptune, but on a more positive note, that can look at like drugs. Drugs, of course, downsides and good sides to drugs, but that drug element, addictions, for example, could arise from that. But yeah, that's just some thing.
That's amazing.
Neptune.
That's
I could go on.
I know. It's amazing. Yeah, you are breaking up a little bit. Hopefully, your internet will stabilize. It's okay, just a little bit breaking up, but I think it's all good. I just wanted to, before we continue, I want to say hi to Lord Raza, and Misbehaving is here again. Hi. Yeah. See. Hi, Misbehaving. And then Lotte is also saying there's a lot of breaking up with your video. I don't know why. See, it's a lot, guys. Mercury and Neptune are still together, so it's like they're messing with our
Is it
lives.
really, really bad? Is it really bad for people? Because I want to make sure people can hear. Obviously, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
Up. Yeah, I mean, we can't do anything about it at the point. It is what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what we can do. Okay. I just want to mention something before we go on to 2024. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it, your interaction, your support. That's amazing. Always, we are here for you anyway. So that's important that you are here for us. About Neptune, I just want to say two things. I think we need Neptune to rest sometimes, because we are always on the run, and we are always trying to achieve things, and and have some kind of action, and have some kind of full calendars. So Neptune, when you have your Neptune transit especially, it tells you calm down, rest, sleep more. It's about sleep as well. Take care of your of your subconscious, and you need to kind of rest to function in a healthy way. And something else I wanted to mention, but okay, yeah. And then because the reality is so cruel sometimes with everything that's happening, and we have all these obligations that Saturn gives us, and and then Neptune just gives us that little thing that we can escape in a healthy way through a movie or music, as you mentioned, through art. Just to have some kind of ease and breath from the harshness of reality. So as long as it's in a healthy way, with Neptune, it's we can go both ways. As you said, there's addictions, and there's a bunch of stuff that we can escapism from. As long as it's in a healthy way, it's good. So I just want to add that to your thing. So Lord Rosa, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. We are. Happy Friday, everybody. Yes. We're happy to be here together.
Hi, happy Friday.
Okay, so this is an overview of Neptune. What do we have? What is Neptune doing? Just before we start, you're going to go in details. I just have a little note here. So Neptune is going to go through 25 Pisces to 29 Pisces this year. So it's going to hit that energetic degree at 29. And it's going to go retrograde on July 2nd and back direct on December 7th. So from July, August, September, October, November, he's retrograde. Just that to mention that at the beginning. Everything, all the aspects and all this information is in the description below for your reference, guys. Okay, that's it. My Virgo rising is happy. You can start.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just kind of want to build on this a little bit, if that's okay, because
Absolutely.
we all this transit, you know, as you said, we're going to reach this 29-degree mark, and so 29 degrees is often a degree of urgency and is a degree of change. You know, it's like, oh, we're getting ready to shift into a new cycle. And we can reflect on the previous transit, which of course is Neptune and Pisces. So Neptune has been in Pisces from 2011, and for this is that there were hard aspects between Uranus and Aries and then Pluto and Capricorn around that time. So there was actually like a lot of lack of awareness surrounding mental health, you know, a lot of stigma around mental health. And but the thing is that such alignments, because those challenging points, they ushered in change, they ushered in a new direction. And so Neptune and Pisces is a subgeneration within the Pluto and Capricorn generation. So looking to the generation Alpha, or the I generation, as they're also referred to. So this is really a subgeneration about compassion, emotional understanding, and as you were rightfully saying as well, taking time to retreat and to unplug. You know, and more people today about their feelings, and they're more willing to be like open about their worries and their fears and what scares them. So, you know, you notice a lot of people taking mental health days.
Yeah.
For example. And then also what followed this, Uranus was in Pisces from 2003 until 2010. And this, I feel, is when people started to wake up to their healing and any like unresolved trauma. So you think about, you know, in World War II, the Cold War, the Vietnam War, all of these huge wars that really impacted the world on such a big scale. You know, a lot of people are dealing, you know, with the impacts of that. You know, you think about how from all of that. So we're noticing here with this, you know, this awakening of sorts, enlightenment as well, following, so especially following, for example, Pluto and Sagittarius when 9/11 happened, of course, 2000, 2001, and then 3 onwards. So yeah, so much within the collective unconscious in need of healing and support. And so I feel as if as kind of been moving through this transit, there's been growing pain, this softness, tenderness, and also spiritual practices resurfacing. So like we see astrology, tarot, mystic, you know, crystal healing, law of attraction as well, but also greater confusion and lies and deception, you know, con artists, deceivers, lack of understanding and awareness, being being misled. And so to me, it's sort of like claims to know the meaning of existence, but with what credentials? It's this type of stuff. But here's the thing, Saturn is now following this path. Saturn is coming along. Saturn is the lord of time and karma. You know, whoever has been deceiving, whoever has been trying to con people and out of their money and stuff like this, I'm here to make sure that there are
repercussions
to what they're doing. Yeah.
And interesting, now that you talk about all of this, I'm thinking about what else Neptune in Pisces brought us. Legalization of marijuana in many states. Like in Canada, it's legalized. Like this is like a legal drug to ease and to slow down, like marijuana, right? It's legal here in Canada, like in many states. So that's part of Neptune in Pisces, right? Getting all this, you know, and CBDs and all this, you know, stuff that is now available. Is one thing. I was just thinking about that, and I had another thought, but it slipped my mind about this. Yes. Oh, yeah. How you mentioned how this generation that is coming wants to take more rest. So the the norm of the society, that we have to work hard overtime, that means that we are successful, is changing. So the vision of the success as we know it is changing. It's not, it's not, you're not successful if you work all weekend and you don't have a balanced life. Now you're successful if you have balanced life. Plus, psychotherapy, going to a psychiatrist, is something that it's a norm. Like it's covered with benefits, if here in Canada. So a lot of changes on, as you said, mental health, taking more rest. I love that for humanity, because we need it. This wasn't healthy, what was happening before. I was just talking to Sid yesterday about it as well. It really, really wasn't healthy. So, yeah, great way of having this Neptune in Pisces thing. So, what do you think is going to be the finale? Like, what is happening with it? At the end, like, planets usually clean up stuff at the end.
Yeah. No, I feel like with that one, of course, that grand finale is really going to look to when, great conjunction in 2026. So
Yes.
the beginning of 2026 is really going to be like as you say, the grand finale. But I think this year, if we're to focus on this year, I feel as if a lot of reflection. I think if anything, Neptune forces us to go within. Neptune really wants us to look at ourselves and to look at our projections, to look at where we're deceiving ourselves, to things that we're trying to avoid. Neptune can be kind of tricky. It's a slippery planet. You can't really grasp it in your hands, kind of thing. But at the same time, Saturn, I feel, is going to provide more of those structures. The thing about Neptune is, it can turn into this sort of like, oh, well, it's a free for all, and there's no limits and there's no boundaries and everything's an illusion. But that's not actually healthy for people.
Yeah.
You need to have a grasp of reality. You need to have healthy boundaries in your life. So Saturn is actually going to support this Neptune energy 26, but Saturn hasn't quite caught up to Neptune yet. So I feel as if Neptune, it's that this year I feel it's going to just be a good sort of revision period. It's going to help us maybe see where we are deceiving ourselves. Also looking toward like how genuine we are, how like really genuine we are in terms of our own sort of compassion toward others. And then also I feel as if there's been a rise of Latin, and these things are sort of, these words are sort of thrown out today very quickly, but with no real like evidence, or it can be tricky basically when it comes to talk about these types of matters. So I feel as if Neptune and Pisces throughout the year, as I say, there's just a lot of reflection, and even perhaps looking to the whole thing of like dissolving, this thing of dissolving the ego, because it's talked about quite a bit with dissolving the ego. But this the thing, a lot of people, for example, talk about like escaping the matrix, for example, right? And how we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, right? Experience in that way. But I also feel as if Neptune, of course, being such a wise teacher because it rules Pisces, I mean, Pisces is the guru, of the zodiac. I feel like, the magician card. The magician card has one hand up in the air and then one hand on the ground. It's kind of saying that, but you also need to be rooted in reality as well. It's not just about like, oh, I'm a spiritual, no. You also have to like deal with what's happening here in the present right now. And that's very Neptune, the present moment.
I mean, you still need to eat and sleep and do physical things. It's just, you can't escape them because you live in a physical world in that sense. Yeah, right? You still just have, but I do feel on a positive side, I like that many people are, as you said, more in tune with what spirit is all about. What is a spiritual practice? Like, because bunch of us who grew up in some kind of religion or something, it was just, there. We didn't question it. You know, it was we were born into it, we were conditioned into it. So now I think people are more aware, and they're questioning it and finding their own way, you know, which I really love. So that's you know, uh, that's where astrology and rays of astrology is really helps with. I think Neptune, I think it's going to be more and more until the end of the year. I think astrology is going to be very strong this year. More and more people are going to get wanted to learn and use it in their everyday life. Not everybody needs to be an astrologer, but in the sense using them, being aware of the cycles in universe, and you get in tune with the nature as well, right, in that sense. So I like that. I just want to say hi to Brianna and Jason Alexander, and Images PNG. Thank you all for being here, guys. We love it. We love it. We love it.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay. So so Neptune in January. Do you want to talk by month or not? I don't mind. Whatever you like. What do you have prepared? Actually, you go. What do you
I do.
prepared?
I would like. Okay, so there is just okay, there is just another thing, just quickly about Neptune. I want to
Oh yeah,
say in
yeah.
terms
Please,
of the
please,
mythology,
please do. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because but this is taken from Howard Sasportas and his book, The 12 Houses. I cannot recommend this book enough. It has been like probably the number one book that I've used that has benefited me as an astrologer, and I recommend anyone who wants to get into it. So basically, Howard Sasportas talks about how Neptune is associated with Poseidon, who was the god of the seas and lakes, like just oceans, basically. And the thing about Poseidon is that he resented Zeus, who, aka Jupiter. So he resented Jupiter,
Yeah.
because he wanted more, and he actually battled Athena, aka Pallas. He also battled. It's quite interesting to think about the aspects there. But he was so furious that he lost these battles that he ended up flooding the lands that he didn't win. So he was spiteful. To me suggests that with Neptune, if you think about the storms, storms, enraged, there's anger, there's quite like volatile emotion.
Yeah. I'm thinking
To
about
Neptune as
tsunami.
well, and maybe this will amp up. Yes, exactly. Yeah, like tsunamis and like big storms, and I've even noticed that with Saturn entering Pisces, storms and everything that have even happened in Ireland and the UK. But anyway, so there can be like wild and crazy sides to. So to kind of, because there can be these two, like, negative qualities and positive qualities, basically, to Neptune, and then so to kind of think about coming into the year. So as you were also said, Mercury and Neptune, they're still creating a square together, and this was quite strong coming into the new year. So I feel as if coming may have been quite surprised by their lack of energy, people becoming quite unwell. I've talked to so many people within my own kind of community, and a lot of people are sick and just run down, and maybe the beginning of the year is sort of saying, like you were saying, right, to kind of rest, take your time. You don't have to make any decisions right now. And we're still in the post shadow period of Mercury. Of course, that we'll come out of that post shadow period more into when Mercury does re-enter Capricorn tomorrow, I think, and then coming into
I think the shadow.
further on, but yeah, that's what I think.
The shadow is over on the 20th. I feel. I think it's gonna go. Yeah, I think the shadow is gonna 20th. Yeah. So you're right. So there is. So that's why you cannot see just one aspect and isolate it when you talk about astrology. You have to look at the whole picture. We have all this Capricorn energy that is driving us to to do things, but then on the other hand, Neptune is saying but everything you do with the compassion, do it slowly, think before you do it. So there's a lot of things we need to consider. It's not just one aspect and then you do this. You have to kind of really, that's why astrology. you, you have to love it. Anyway, cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so
I do, I
that's so
agree.
January we have this. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm. You're kind of breaking
Sorry,
up.
that was my mistake. Slight delay. Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
I know
why?
there's a breaking up and like, but it's internet. Like, what can you do? Like, this is maybe solar flares are flying over Ireland, they're messing up with your internet. You can do much. This is your provider. I think it's your provider. I don't think it's you. So we'll try to figure it out.
Okay.
It's good. Okay, go ahead. I won't
Uh,
interrupt. Tell me what else do you have for January? We have this Mercury square Neptune, and then we're gonna have Neptune sextile the Sun, right? So that's next one. Yeah, that's a good one.
yeah. So I think that is going to, as this does. So if I kind of think about a lot of the contemplation and the reflection going on with Mercury square sextile comes along and says, okay, you've been doing a lot of reflection. Now it's time to like really bring such reflections and dreams and visualizations to life. It's time to kind of grow this business plan, because we had the new moon in Capricorn on the
Yes.
11th of January. So that was a good time for us to set intentions, new beginnings, this type of stuff. How can further support this, but also being able to recognize where we are deceiving ourselves slightly as well, and just being a little bit more grounded in what it is that we want to do long term.
Yeah, absolutely. This is all about long term, the whole January. Yeah, yeah. And then it's gonna square Venus. Well, it when Neptune has hard aspects, I always tell people it's very easy to escape to something unhealthy. Go get too much to drink, or just do something like that. I don't even want to talk about other stuff. But especially with Venus, we are kind of not getting what we wanted. And then it just turn yourself towards some artistic expression, or just let your imagination go. Do what you would do, if there was no restriction, but not in a healthy way. So that I always tell people to try to do something nice, like watch a movie, for example. Escape in that way. Escape through music. Put your favorite album on. Don't go on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, and because to follow on from that, you were saying for Neptune is coming into January. I highly
Yeah.
agree, because Venus then looking toward things like beauty and art and creativity. But maybe that can, maybe that square can kind of help us assess a little bit where we go too far, where we maybe we can not maybe not overcomplicate, but we can take things to a whole other limit that is actually a whole other level that isn't actually very healthy for us.
Mhm.
And maybe it will be a good opportunity for us, like you said, to more, okay, just escape, not to try and not make any huge life-changing decisions perhaps in that way,
Yes.
especially if things are not very realistic. Just to be blunt in that, because Neptune with squares and oppositions and everything, there can be a lack of realism.
Mm.
So maybe that with the Sagittarius energy especially, just kind of expanding on all of that even more. And maybe that can even look at like pleasure seeking, but maybe in not the healthiest of ways. Oh no.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just gonna reply to misbehaving. She's asking if can she change her phone number now or wait for Mercury to shadow to exit. You can do it now, misbehaving for sure, because you have a new moon. You can get a new phone. I think it will, for the long run, it will be a good new phone for you. So all is good in that sense. Yeah. Okay. That's a great point. No more rose glasses, guys. When that's it. Just you have to take them off. When
Yes.
Venus and Neptune have a hard aspect, you have to take off the rose glasses for sure, because you can feel. It's a. I always feel, when also people who have that in natal charts, they feel like, not everybody. Don't take me for granted. We have to hold the whole thing, um, this is like this, uh, this idolizing your partner, right? I have
Mhm.
Neptune opposed my sun in my natal chart, and like idolizing my father and what the father figure is, and that when I grew up, like, oh my god, he's also human, he has mistakes. So it was like a shocker, like, you know
Yeah.
it can really, after the Neptune transit leaves you, it can gives you that sense of like, oh my god, like what happened, like, where, like it's awakening from some kind of a dream, like, what was I
Yeah.
thinking? Like, what was
Yeah.
I thinking? You feel like stupid sometimes, like, what, like, I was, but it's not. It's just this mist, this Neptunian mist comes over you, and then you don't see right. That's what it is. It is what it is. That's funny. Okay, so February we have Neptune sextile Mercury, and it's gonna sextile Mars as well. That's some beautiful, and Venus. So
Mm.
Mercury, I mean, February looks pretty nice with a bunch of sextiles with Neptune.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah, to further because in January there was the sun sextile, and perhaps
Yeah.
that was even more related to like how we express ourselves, our purpose as well, pointing towards purpose strongly. Planets. So thinking about how we communicate our thoughts, thinking about, again, it goes back to you were saying about relation with Venus, that part of it. So with that, I feel there could be, it's sort of like, because I see, when I reflect on this, I have Venus and Neptune,
Mhm.
and so to me, a
Yeah.
sextile between Neptune and Pisces and Venus and Capricorn, it's not exactly the same because, of course, I've got them really like merged together, but there's similar parts of it where, this could be where what it is that we create, it comes from a much deeper place. And as well, we could
Mm.
very well move people, move
Mm.
people with our art. But it's something about your legacy. What are you trying to leave behind? And maybe in this way, it is focusing more on how our dreams and
Mm.
our imagination can assist us for the long term. And then Mars coming along, of course, Mars looks more at like our drive, how we assert ourselves, motivation as well. That could be a little bit of a tricky one with Mars, yes, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, but with word, okay, things are not exactly going to go the way you plan. There may be something that you're being guided
Yeah.
toward. Maybe there's something about trusting your intuition or trusting where you're being directed. But as you say as well, Jasmina, we can wear those rose-colored glasses, and we can put people and situations on a
Yes.
pedestal. It's like they're the all seeing,
Yeah.
all knowing, like God like figure. And it's like,
Yes.
no, good way for us to like really bring it back down, center ourselves throughout February, and then move
Yeah, I mean,
forward.
Mars calls us for action. So think about, how can you put your Neptune into action. So what does that mean for you? If you have, sometimes it just means go to sleep, like literally, like physically go to sleep. You don't have to, do anything. If you feel exhausted or tired, maybe your body needs it, or um, I don't know. It with Neptune is very hard to grasp. It's something that is not tangible. So everything you do, it doesn't. It's not really. You cannot really see it in this world, right? So um, it has to be some kind of connection with the divine. In art is also that. Astrology, maybe you want to go and do some occult things, learn something about that, just an opportunity to expand your mind, and in that sense, because it's going to be sextile Mercury and then Mars, so it can be like a learning new things, or try like learn tarot or something. If you've ever been interested in something like that, now is the time maybe to explore that in a healthy way, right? So because it's not like buying a book, or buying a dress, or buying a house or something. I'm going to cook a meal. It's nothing like that. Or going for a walk, or with Neptune, you can't. This is not Neptune. Neptune is something, like, what is this? Why are we alone in the universe, and how can we connect with this, and where is this all coming from? And that's in that sense, right? So yeah, that's good. Nice February. I like that. Okay, March. We have again another connection with conjunction with Mercury, and that's it. Oh yeah, and Sun. So there's gonna be Neptune, Sun, and Mercury. They're gonna be together in March. All three of them. Wow, that's gonna be a burst of
Yeah.
imagination. I feel that a bunch of new movies can come out. Is this Oscars then? Is Oscars night then, or something? Anyway. Yeah, I think it's Oscar season in March, I feel. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And yeah, that is an important point, because I suppose like now, like social media and film and stuff like that. But what I think this just came to me. What I find really interesting about this. So the pre-shadow period is going to be from the 11th of March all the way up until the 2nd of July. So of course, with Neptune going from 29 to 27, the important thing about January and February for us is that these degrees of Neptune, we're not going to see that then for the next 165 years or so. Okay. So we're passing that 25, 26 degree like threshold. So that I think is going to be an interest. So January, February of this year, it's going to be an interesting time for creatives, business owners as well, thinking about how they can dissolve certain boundaries or what's not working for them. This is a big year in dissolving. What are we releasing here, especially with Pluto leaving Capricorn this year and entering Aquarius, and with the final new moon in Capricorn there, whilst Pluto was there. So that won't happen again for another 250 years or so. So basically, with coming into March, Neptune will be at 27 degrees.
Yes.
And as you say, Yasmina, there will be that Neptune Cassimi coming up. Now, with that, there was a Neptune Cassimi last year, of course. So that was in March as well. So that was actually on the 15th of March last year. So this Cassimi in March, which will happen on the 17th of March, 2024. That's very much about our connection with the divine. This is about divine order, divine law. This is about inner faith. This is about knowing. This is trust. I feel as if March is like, take a leap of faith. Trust that you have this, okay? Listen to your inner
Yes,
guide, okay?
absolutely.
There's big leaps for people this year. And I feel as if a lot of it is just really about, this is no longer working for me. This is not serving me in the long run. And also the last thing I want to say is step into the unknown. Mystery. Neptune is about
Yes.
mystery. Neptune is like, it explores the unknown. Dive into it. Go with the flow.
Yeah. I like that. Go with the flow. That's it. That's for Neptune, number one. I love that. I'm thinking, because we're gonna have such an active April. So this March, take your time, really, as you said, to get in tune with yourself, and under because later you won't have time to reflect anymore. It's gonna be really, so many outside events are going to happen. You won't have time to think. So March is actually really, really good month to get in tune with your, so that, yes, as you said, your gut, your intuition, so that can follow you, because there's going to be so much noise later. You won't be able to logically make decisions. So you're gonna have to rely on your gut throughout the year, especially in April. April is hectic, guys. It's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of things happening. Yeah, yeah. Neptune is interesting planet. Really, really interesting. Anyway, yeah, go. I'm now reflecting. I can't even find the words. This is also Neptune. Not finding the right word. That's really Neptunian. By the way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. What was I thinking about? I was thinking about
It
environment.
is.
Because Neptune is also about care and compassion about uh, our environment and and animals and stuff like that. So think about maybe it's like a leap of faith to care more for our immediate environment or ourselves and others. And I'm just thinking about that with this Cosimi. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. Okie dokie. April. Let's see. Okay. April is the craziest month. I was going through with everybody to different planets each month, and every time we come to April, it's like, okay, April. So for Neptune, April might not be that bad unless we have conjunctions with Venus at the beginning and conjunctions with Mars at the end. So Neptune Mars conjunction is not fun, to be honest. Anyway. Because
Yeah.
that's when artists, this is what you mentioned, con artists, I think that's when they thrive, when Neptune is conjuncting Mars. I think that's their on the alert. Yeah, because
Yeah. Yeah, that it I think it will definitely be an interesting one because like with the Jupiter being, of course, the conjunction to Uranus, and maybe that also circles back to that what you were saying. It's like the environment and how we take care of animals and how we take care of our surroundings and wake up to how connected they are to nature and that we are nature. And I've
yeah.
watched many of um your lives, and something I observe the power of like listening to the cycles and the rhythms that astrology
Hmm.
has to offer us. And I feel as if April is going to be a big time to usher that spiritual
Mm,
wisdom and that spiritual knowledge as well. And you may not, with Sagittarius, for example, right? Of
yeah.
course, both are ruled by Jupiter, right? With the traditional rulers for Pisces. But Sagittarius is more like intellectual in its
Mm,
its sharing and its knowing, and it's you think about preaching, etc. And then Sagittarius to me is also tied in with more like orchestrated like religion and wrong, of course. But Pisces is more about that inner knowing, and you don't necessarily need
hmm.
to preach. You don't necessarily need to say this is the way and this is the like. I know what I feel, and this
Yeah.
is where I'm being guided to. So, with the conjunctions of both Venus and Mars in April, I feel as if this is what's going to come up for many people. And maybe a big part of it is trust. It's like
Hmm.
trust um and as well, maybe that also feeds into what you were saying there about with con artists and deceivers and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, try to bring it back to within. You know in your heart of hearts what the next step is
Yeah.
for you. And I feel like there will be a great deal of
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You always have one foot on the ground. Always. Whenever you do in life, just have that. Sometimes it's hard to people with strong Neptunes. It's hard for them. I understand, but have that in mind. If you're aware of it, just always keep one foot on the ground, and then your intuition will tell you, as you mentioned, if something, if there's illusion, delusion, is deception. It can be a lot of, it's a lies as well. Mars Neptune can be just liar aspect. unfortunately. So it's plain on lies, just blunt in your face. So just be aware of that. I'm going to mention that, just, and always use your common sense. Think about it. Think before you act, in that sense. So yeah, so watch out for those. I have to mention that because I think it's very strong. Yeah, especially in Pisces, because it can be in the name of higher good. There's this that people can play the card of your compassion and empathy, and to get something from you. So be aware. That's the problem, right? They're gonna pick it, where, like, oh, so that's, I think it's important to mention that. Yeah. Hard.
Yeah. That is hard. I so agree with that, because Pisces can have that side to it, or Neptune energy, can have that side to it where you can be too some sort of healthy limitations and boundaries, and making sure that you're not being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Especially, I always think generations who are not very tech educated or fertile or whatever. Anyway, I'm talking about my dad and generation that is older. That I'm going to say older anymore. More mature generations, our seniors. They're not very tech wise and whatever. They can get very, very, click this and someone takes your whatever your information, because you don't because they just click, they don't even see it. My dad doesn't even see. He goes like, what is this? Like literally it can be an eyesight problem with Neptune as well, which is Neptune rules your eyesight as well.
Vision, yeah,
so
blurred
so
vision. Oh my gosh, yeah.
yeah, so I'm thinking about, be very careful just of literally what you click, because you can also be you could be daydreaming a lot, and when Neptune hits us, and then you're like, oh, what is this, and then you just go, and so it's very, yeah, it's hard for those people who are not, who don't understand how things work, right? So even we learn every day. There's so many changes, and with this Pluto and Aquarius and AI, we're gonna see many different things, like identity thefts. I just read there's so many identity thefts lately. It's crazy. So it's very hard to, that's also another Neptunian thing, deception of who you are, right? Yeah. Hello, Autumn Rose. Hello, Rog. Everybody. I'm sorry. I think my kid is crying in the
Hi,
back.
hello. Oh.
Yeah, I think my kid is screaming in the back. He has to go to daycare. He doesn't. Anyway, let's go to May.
Doesn't want to go.
Let's go to May. So May, what do we have for May? Oh, we have another sextile with the Sun, and with Venus, and with Jupiter. So yeah, this is the one. This is the Neptune Jupiter sextile. I like that one. Yeah, May. May is very good for Neptune. So
yeah, 29. Both will be 29 degrees.
yes.
So
Yeah, with Jupiter.
I feel with this one, because we're reaching the 29-degree mark with Jupiter as well. It will be a beneficial time to evaluate the past year, since Jupiter, of course, entered Taurus. I think that was on like the 19th of May or something, 2023.
Yeah.
And when it did first enter Taurus, there were challenging aspects. I mean, we've seen this time and time again for prosperity and success and rewards. Of course, Taurus energy is much more slow moving. It's more about plodding along, being patient. And I feel that Jupiter in Taurus has really taught many of us that patience is the virtue of wonders, and just because something isn't within our control in the moment, it doesn't mean that there aren't like other things operating in the background. And maybe this is also going to show us that much that is within our physical control, and that there is actually a lot that we don't say, unseen forces. I even think about Neptune as like miracles. We think about the age of Pisces, for Christ, and he performed miracles, right? He walked on water, turned water into wine. He helped the sick so he basically was this miraculous person who did so much for humanity. And so maybe this is also saying believe in the impossible. And it's hard, of course, to see the way through if it is that, you know, going to be, I am going to be blunt in this, that, you know, real issues with like, you know, increased the cost of living basically increasing, you know, seeing this with Jupiter and Taurus as well.
Yeah, inflation. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so it creates a lot of fear. And that's the thing about Neptune as well. It can look at our fears, and our fears often, they're not rational, you know, and phobias too, you know.
Yeah.
Neptune can look at our phobias. So for us to kind of maybe see the bigger picture, you know, maybe this will give us a glimpse of like what's really being like conducted in the background a little bit, and a glimpse of, you know what, the past year there have been challenges, there have been limitations, but this is what I did. I focused on my craft, I worked hard, I kept my head down, and then this is going to be a good sextile where it's like my dreams are coming true. Awesome. Of course, not going to be like that for everyone, but I think it depends on your unique chart. It depends on like the process for you as an individual that you have went through to that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that, you know, for the humanity in general, it's going to be like a good, like a spiritual elevation. Like Jupiter is going to give this a boost. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, and even astrology, I think it's going to be huge, something, you know, and then I just feel it's going to be like, it's giving us opportunity to kind of boost our intuition, boost our, you know, our knowledge of something divine that we are not understanding, and then using it actually practically. It's Taurus, like, you know, it's so it's interesting. I think this is a great aspect at the last degree. So it's like kind of, it's sucking up all this Piscean and Taurian, you know, blend together in one. I think it's going to be beautiful, especially before the switch to Jupiter in Gemini, and, you know, and other stuff, and then Pluto in Aquarius. It's going to be like a lot of air lately. So this is like a more, you know, this last feminine inward reception kind of a thing, you know, that we can, I like that. So before we go into the mind completely.
Yeah.
In the next couple of, yeah, it's gonna be like a new shift. Like people don't even understand. I cannot. We look at this as astrologers. We talk to each other. We look at these stars. We try to understand it. We still don't understand it. And people who don't even know this, I don't know if they're gonna be so shocked with all these changes. Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. Lots of things is coming up. Yeah, this was very nice.
Yeah.
Nice hand. I love this. Love this big picture thing. Great. Okay, June for Neptune sextiling Mercury. And then, oh, he's going to do some squares. When the Gemini season comes, he's going to make all these squares to Mercury, Venus, and Sun, just because Pisces and Geminis are squaring each other. But it's mutable squares, so yeah, they can, you know, we can adjust easier, more easier when they do. I just feel that, you know, when you have mutable squares or fixed, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, definitely with the mutable energy, there's more about, you know, options and being open to other modes of being, other directions. That I feel the sextile to Mercury first in Taurus will be more of a softer energy, you know, maybe more tender, a little bit more calm, especially rising up sort of energy. So that could be, you know, a little bit more calmer. But the squares then to the Gemini, especially because Jupiter will, this will point toward us trying to kind of make sense of what this Jupiter Gemini transit is going to bring up for us, amplify. What, you know, it's going to amplify Gemini. You know, it's going to, you know, you think about Jupiter, it just expands whatever it touches. So maybe this will be a little bit of a time just to just get everything out on paper, or to maybe chat with people about You know, this will be a good idea to kind of open up a little bit to other people about our feelings. If we're overthinking, if we're worried, maybe, because as you were rightfully saying
Yeah.
as well, Jasmina, like people aren't going to know in a way them, you know, if there is this big boom, right? There's going to be all these big shifts, all these big booms coming. So maybe this time period could be a good opportunity for us to really share our feelings and just to talk it out and be like, okay, we'll not be able to make sense of it all. You know, there may not be a lot of logic or reason, but still, if anything, Pisces teaches us the wisdom that is our feelings. And I know that feelings aren't facts. You know, a lot of people say feelings aren't facts or whatever, but your feelings are still valid. Your feelings still matter, and they
Absolutely.
have something to tell you about yourself.
Absolutely. No, this is absolute. I love this. I love that you just said. So we're going to have to kind of learn to work with our mind and our feelings together in some sense. So it's going to be some kind of adjustment in that sense, right? So it might not go smooth, but it can have good, long lasting, great results. I like that because squares are good. At the end, they make us grow. That's basically what it is. I feel that squares are good. I feel personally oppositions are the hardest, just because they're pulling you in the different directions and you have to choose. And then that's why you kind of, with squares, you kind of, this is it. There's no choice. You have to deal with it. You know exactly what you're dealing with. It's not easy, but with oppositions, you have to. And then me as a Gemini in opposition, I know, no, I can't. Like, that's for me, it's the hardest. No, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. This is July. Oh, now we're getting into trines because it's Cancer season. So we have trine with Mercury, and we have trine with Venus. That's beautiful. Oh, it's going to sextile Mars, and then trine the Sun. Yeah, and that's beautiful. So it's going to be a lot of beautiful aspects in July. It's middle of the summer in northern hemisphere. It's very nice, don't just drink too much, I would say, or take drugs or something, because you can get on that side with these trines. You kind of, you don't even know what's happening with you. But it can be beautiful, a beautiful summer for for your imagination to go wild.
Yeah, I like that, and I would agree, of course, because you know, Cancerian energy can also be quite spiritual and emotional and deep. So that combination could be interesting. And also, you know, Neptune, by coming into July, of course, it will start its retrograde then from the 2nd of July
Yeah,
up
yeah.
until the 7th of December. So with that retrograde energy, a lot of more like internalizing things. It's good to review. It's good to kind of, even, especially, I would recommend people revisiting that March point, you know, so from March all the way until July, try to kind of revisit what came up for you. So kind of go back to those times that, you know, we talked about those dates, and then July and then coming up to December is a really good period to kind of, okay, let me sort of just reflect, let me go inward, let me go back. But with the Cancerian energy in combination in July, that will be especially profound for people, I feel. You know, that will be a really good time to try to like what's meaningful to you in terms of emotional connection. Who's there to support you? Like, who is there to support you through any fears you have, your grasp of reality and stuff like this? Lean on your family, lean on your, you know, your friends or your partner, whoever it is. I feel like that's going to be a really good time for us to kind of just go inward and to emotional and supportive and caring relationships in our lives.
Yeah. I feel that you can do a lot of family things together, in a Neptunian way. Like, you can do so many interesting, I don't know, I can't just think of something, but like I doing and thinking, I'm always thinking about practical things. What can you what can you actually do with this energy, and share? Hit the oh Brianna, thank you so much. She goes, hit the like button, folks. It
Oh,
helps. Oh, thank you so much. some of you guys
Thanks,
that are supporting
Brianna.
us, it makes me so happy. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
feel the
I'm thinking
love.
do something family. Yeah, kisses. So Neptune and touching the Cancer planets, it just feels like having this beautiful um you can escape this reality with your family. It's summer, go from everyday routine and do something together in a different way. I'm saying that's I think that's what beautiful. I'm still looking forward to spending summer in Croatia. Yay, this is for me. It's going to be, I still have to work, but it's going to be different, escaping from your everyday routine. That's the whole point. That's what I wanted to say with your um, family and loved ones, in
Love
that
it. I
sense,
love it.
if you can, of course. Even I don't know. Cool. Okay, summer continues with August. We have square to Mercury. No. We only have opposition to Venus. That's the only aspect. Oh, Autumn Rose says family picnics. I like that. Family picnics. Beautiful. Thank you. Great,
Yeah.
great.
Making memories with your family.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yes, I like that. That's beautiful. Aww. Yeah, so in August, Neptune is actually pretty quiet. Only opposition to Venus, end of August. So yay! What do we have to say about that?
Oh,
I don't like oppositions. I'm telling you.
oh. Yeah, this real harsh like push pull, this tug of war kind of thing going on. So I would just say, well, okay. Let's I want to think about it a different way. We've been here before, and
Yes.
Neptune retrograde. Of course, Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011. So this isn't something we can't get through, people. We're gonna get through this, okay? So this is just a little bit of okay. What are the tweaks? What are the deceit, or as you were saying, the lies part of it, Yasmina? So this could be a good opportunity for it. Okay, clean up your act a little bit, okay? Clean
Yeah.
up your space, clean up whatever within your relationships. Take take a little bit of responsibility in that way, and own what's yours, and recognize as well that people have their own
Mhm.
space and their own feelings. And okay, I'm me, but this is you, right? Because Neptune energy can be very merging, right? There can be a lot of that, like, oh, I need to save them. Oh, I need to rescue them. But the Venus and Virgo
Yes.
doesn't fall there. But Venus Virgo is great for going, hold on a second. Like, I'm going to help you, but I'm only going to help you to a certain point. Okay. You need to sort
Yeah. Yeah.
out
Yeah.
whatever is happening with you over there. Okay. That can be really positive.
Mhm. Yeah. I like that. I like that. The yeah, because Venus in Virgo wants to serve you, but she wants sacrifice for you. So that's, you have to understand that the difference. I will help you with this, as you said, but I won't do it on for my behalf. So I get flustered. The only thing that you might feel frustrated, maybe it's because you want everything to be perfect, and Neptune just you won't know what it is. Like, it's like, oh, and then it will dissolve your organization. It will dissolve your plans, in that sense that I have this plan, I want to do it. Then that's just not going to happen in that sense. And you will have the clarity. What is the priority? Like, for example, Virgo likes priority. This is number one. Then Neptune comes in like, no, and then this is not. And then what is it? So in that sense, you just need to take it easy, in that sense that don't expect from yourself or from others everything to be perfect, because it won't. That's just it. So in that sense, disregard that.
True.
Yeah, that's it. Awesome. Good tips, Hannah. I love this.
Doing
Okay, we
it.
are now in September. Yeah, I love this. So September, we have square to Mars, and we have opposition to the Sun, opposition to Mercury. Okay, so September is also going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Gemini.
So Mars will be in. No, where is Mars? What is happening? Where is Mars? Yes, yes, in Gemini, of course. Yeah. Mars is in Gemini. That sense. So it's gonna square Neptune. And that's lies.
Okay.
That's also lies. Gemini is involved. I mean, I'm a Gemini, but I have to say it's true. I mean, Gemini in a lower frequency is because they're very smart, and it can be very conning, like a very deceiving, very like the con artists in the low frequency, because everybody sometimes goes. Anyway, yeah. So let's watch out for that as well, to be deceived in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that because Gemini, yeah, can be the
Yeah.
trickster. Gemini can say one thing but then do the complete opposite. And maybe this is that there's some sort of aggression behind this as well, though, with Mars energy, there could be people lashing out, people arguing, people demanding that they get their point across. We can notice maybe misinformation, misleading people, misguiding them. Covering up the truth could very well, come up
Yes.
during that time. But maybe it's also with a little bit of because I also feel as if Gemini energy represents like the bridge, the bridge
Mhm.
between making what is unconscious conscious, and so that sort of energy to me in the mix with Neptune can perhaps, well, especially retrograde, can point toward
Mm.
a greater need or desire or push perhaps to go within and to explore the unconscious, to work with it, to play with it, to re-explore it in a way where maybe it's being able to reflect on ourselves, because as you're saying with Gemini, there can be this sort of like there's the deceptive energy, seeing where we are deceiving ourselves. Maybe it's seeing
Mm.
the lies that we tell ourselves about our goals, about our capabilities, about our ability to like share information or to communicate, so a little bit of like taking back our power in that way.
Yeah. I'm thinking, Mars is our choice of weapon. As I said, everybody has different Mars. So for Gemini Mars people, their choice of weapon is words. So they're gonna shoot. Like I'm thinking about Twitter wars, stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
like, especially like so just don't get involved with it. Now that you're aware of it, just step aside. I always say when there's a hard aspect coming up, make popcorn and watch aside, eat your popcorn and watch the movie, and you don't have to be the actor of it. So in that sense, right? So don't get your buttons pushed, because you probably will. Yeah. And then we have a position to Sun, which is, yeah, my natal position. And I can only say that, sometimes with that sense we struggle with who we are and in life. So what do I want? Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What is happening? What am I supposed to do? Like I was questioning that for years. Even I think in the last couple of years I got a clarity. Yes, I want to do astrology for serious. But until then I changed so many jobs. I was doing this. Where should I live? What would I do? Like it's so many with Neptune Sun oppositions. You really don't have that clarity of where are you going? Where are you going exactly? Like what is happening? Who am I? Like am I this? Am I that? Like anyway. So it's not an easy aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would very much agree with what you said. That can be a pretty challenging one with that opposition to the Sun in Virgo. Um, maybe it's perhaps getting lost in what your priorities are, or uh, how you can be more productive. The Neptune opposition could very much dissolve some of this, and
Mm,
not necessarily saying it's like a super bad thing. I mean, it could be that some things are needed for greater healing or greater, uh, recognizing basically what needs to be dissolved in a
yeah.
way. But the Mercury as well coming
Hmm.
into it, yeah, because I'm thinking about square Mercury. So already there was that fog and that mist when it came to communication, and we're sort of still like we're still coming out of it slightly. But the opposition then being so with especially Mercury being Virgo, that could be where Mercury in Virgo is of course exalted and it's at home. So to me, Mercury in Virgo, it's concise. The Mercury and Virgo person speaks and communicates, it all it kind of filters into the next thing, and it's structured in such a way that it makes sense. But the Neptune could be where things are muddled and there's a bit of confusion and it's not so concise and it's not so effective. So maybe in that way, there could be a little bit of confusion or this or that. Like,
make sure that you double check all the information. It's just like Mercury retrograde in a sense, right? It gives us that that unclarity, right? So just make sure to double check everything. And during one of those Mercury retrogrades, I was doing an email like a in my work, like I'm sending an email, instead of add, I put ASS and I send it out. Can you please add this? And can you please? So stuff like that. So yes.
no.
Couldn't be worse. Couldn't be worse. No.
Oh my gosh.
So things like that, when Neptune is in, you don't even see the word, that you don't see the words, you don't see the letters. I'm just saying, you read something, anyway. Let's hurry up. I have 15 more minutes and I have to go. So October, Neptune is trining Venus and trining Mars and trining Mercury. Oh, October, yes, it's going to be good since it's a eclipse season. The Neptune is actually going to help us with escaping that harshness of eclipse season.
That one should be interesting because there'll be a grand water trine. So Venus in Scorpio, Mars in Cancer, and then that Neptune.
Yeah.
Great energy. So that could be quite a purifying, more related to our emotional depths. But then I suppose the thing with this is Mars will start pre-shadow period there. There is a kind of we're building up to a certain event in the USA. This type of stuff's coming up, and maybe people are feeling all types of ways, and so it could also be people in energy. Neptune can also be volatile, like emotions and rage, and I've had it. I've had enough of this. So I know there's trines, but there's especially coming out of the eclipse season with the lunar eclipse in Pisces too. Yeah, there could be some tension in the air.
I'm thinking, but with this grand trine that you're mentioning, and this nice, lovely aspect between Mars and Venus, it's all about make love, not war energy, literally. I mean, literally, just escape. This is exactly what I feel like, because Venus is in Scorpio, right? And Mars is in Cancer. That's like anyway. And Neptune is there. So I would just go and explore other realms of life in a more beautiful way. Yeah, make love, not war. I would say that for October.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
No, I really
think.
feel like, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Just the time, and I'm so sorry. Doesn't mean I did not mean to talk over you. Finish what you were saying. I'm sorry. It's just the time. Cool.
All good. Okay, so do you want to mention anything for this? No, let's go November. I know it's the delay. Like internet is messing with you because we talk about Neptune. You have to understand, Neptune gives us all this, not clarity, fog. So now this is what happens.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
No, it's all good. I
Okay.
heard everything you said, and it's beautiful, and I love what you're saying, and your word is out there, so don't worry, all is good. Okay, are we gonna go to November?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll go to November.
no,
Sorry.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have square Venus, and we have trine the Sun in November.
Square Venus.
Yeah, because we're gonna have the same situation as, Venus is in Sag, so just like now, so just so it's similar um, energy, right? Because we have now square Venus. Yeah,
Mhm.
we talked about it. So yeah, so we maybe tried the Sun, but that we didn't have that. So that's a beautiful aspect. Um, Sun and Neptune trining together. That's beautiful. That's very artistic,
Mhm.
very out there, uh, beautiful. I think in many people who are doing um, music, it's very prominent in musicians charts, and and Neptune and Sun are trining.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that could be a pretty creative time.
Very creative. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Thing
Okay.
I know with like time and stuff thing I was like trying to communicate there is that I was trying to like agree with what you were saying previously. And maybe because of the time period it's going to be for
Mhm.
a lot of people, because there could be a lot of tension, maybe in that way it is about kind of looking more toward like our fellow man humanity or empathy and trying to kind of put our own sort of person to the side a little bit, and maybe we can experience some harmony. That can be quite with the previous a little bit more a harmonious time. But then of course with
Mhm.
the square to Venus and Sagittarius beliefs really rising up, and of course with Jupiter still being in Gemini and stuff around that time, yeah, maybe that is a good time to kind of just reflect a little bit.
Yeah. And then Mars is almost going retrograde. Mars is going retrograde in 6th of December. So this is also going to be just like, he's slowing down. So Mars is really going to slow down in that sense in November. It tried to go retrograde. So yeah, it should be good overall for Neptune at least. Okay, and then we are finishing up the year with the sextile to Venus and square to Sun, and that's it. Yeah. So we had this already. So
Yeah.
these things are happening during the year many times. But overall, let's finish up. So summarize. What do you feel Neptune in 2024 will be for you? What do you feel that this is, now that we went through all the 12 months? What do you feel it's going to be for us?
I feel like Neptune is going to help us really practice a lot of self-compassion. And
Mm.
even though the year is going to be pretty chaotic from going from this very transitional
Yeah.
period, there's going to be growing pains and stuff. Maybe Neptune is going to kind of just remind us to breathe, like deep breaths, because even with this live today, Yasmina, for the breakups and the delays and stuff like that, that really, I don't want to waste other people's thing, right? And I feel as if Neptune is maybe teaching me, this is not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not.
Just relax, because I can go energy.
Yeah.
To me, it's like serenity. Breathe, deep breaths, meditate,
I like that serenity and
relax.
letting
It's okay.
go of control, because in everyday life you want to control everything, and you can't. and Neptune is telling you you cannot, and life is not about go go go. As life is also about, as you said, taking a deep breath, having a rest, meditate, be with yourself. That's maybe a good lesson. Be more with yourselves, guys, because we are so stimulated with all this social media, with technology, with other people's opinions, with so many different things. You need to find time to step and be with yourself, and practice it, because you're gonna need, because how you practice going to work every day, practice being with yourself every day. That's the only way. I think this is a great, especially the 29 degrees of Pisces. It's reaching that last degrees. This is where the concentration is. It's now time to learn, as you said, self-compassion, and practicing to be with yourself and your thoughts, um, in a healthy way. Yeah, I know. Sometimes our thoughts, we don't want to be with our thoughts, but it's necessary. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hannah. I love talking to you every time. It fills me with so much hope and energy, and enthusiasm for the future after we chat. Thank you all for being here, guys, and Autumn Rose and Martin, Francisco, misbehaving, everybody. We really appreciate you. And then until next time. Oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna have a talk with Tom about Pluto in 2024. So tune in for that. And what do you have coming up before we close?
I'm going to be going live in the next couple of hours with Anastasia does astrology. We're going to be talking about the Pluto in Aquarius with the Pluto generation. So that should be something to tune into.
Yeah, tune in, guys. I'm gonna. No. Uh, oh, look, Martin goes. Oh, geez, you're going now. Yes, we're going now. We have been talking for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Believe it or not. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hannah and we're going to prepare something nice for you in February. I won't say anything until the two of us talk about it. But yeah. So we'll tune in February, because I have to have at least once a month something with Hannah to make my juices running, because I love talking to her. So awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, great weekend, and see you soon. Bye.